Chapter 50. Only 3 hours after Violet's suicide, Tegasara arrived at the scene and was amazed by the rocky farmland. The day was still young and beautiful, but now slightly too hot for Tegasara's taste. He kept wiping his sweaty forehead. His shirt was all soaked in the hot sun, sticking to his back like a small bedsheet Judas's goat had pissed on. He observed the dead body in the shade napping on the hard rocks. The skull fracture was freakishly dismembering the beautiful girl into an ugly thing. Part of the hair was bloody, and part of the Sara's heart was shattered. Such a beautiful girl dead on the ground and for nothing. He felt sadness, he felt grief. He was unsure of what else he felt, but it was not a good feeling. It was a silent whisper that wept in his head, for things shouldn't be this way. A police van arrived, and out of it rolled a little robot on wheels that scanned the surrounding area with lasers. Like a little white bird, the drone buzzed up in the sky with lasers scanning everything in sight. The tiny thing could locate murder weapons, blood, and irregularities. It also compared the information with an ever-updating database. The machinery declared a 99.99 suicide probability after just 4 minutes of data analysis.
Take the girl away. Load her up in the van. Take her to the morgue for paperwork. Let the relatives know of her death.
Tegasara watched the girl being picked up on the stretcher and carried away. He looked at the remaining blood on the rocks. He lit a cigarette and inhaled the dragon. He didn't smoke regularly. The old chief had made a deal with himself to smoke 1 cigarette every time a pretty girl committed suicide. He stood there smoking the little shit stick, poisoning himself with it. The smoke clawed the old bastard's eyes out of his skull. He took the discomfort with a cold grimace. Perhaps resting a flower on the girl's deathbed would be more soothing, but he would look weird walking around with flowers. A stinky cigarette was assumed to be a more acceptable thing than a flower by the people of the world. Tegasara finished the cigarette and climbed into his vehicle. He went back to the police station where they held Key. He grabbed a water for himself and one for the boy and invited Key into his office. He sat there with his chin down, his eyes filled with shadows.
So, what happened? Tell me what happened today.
Tegasara relaxed in his chair and opened the water bottle. He drank half of it and put it on the table. The young man hadn't mumbled a word yet, so Tegasara opened the drawer of his table and took out a glass and a bottle. He poured himself a drink. He took a sip, then another one, then a third one. After that, he asked Key if he wanted a glass too.
I am fine. Never mind. Please, pour me a glass too.
Key watched Tegasara put another empty glass on the table and fill it generously.
Come, tell me what happened today.
The old man coughed out.
She told me she just wanted to be free. Nothing more. I guess things were building up inside her and I didn't notice. She's my girl, but I didn't love her the way she loved me, I think. I had other girls. And this one killed herself today. It's just so sad and stupid. I feel like shit.
Kai didn't feel like talking. He was feeling too bitter. He now hated Tegasara for the type of man he was. Key's egoism had murdered a beautiful girl. He felt guilt.
So you were polyamorous.
Tegasara watched the juice dance in his glass.
I don't even know what I am, Chief.
Key took the glass in his hand, sniffed the liquid, and drank the whole thing in one go.
Don't get too drunk.
Tegasara now was worried that the kid might be suicidal, too.
Don't worry, I won't kill myself. There wasn't a hint. I couldn't have imagined she would do such a thing. Not a single thing.
Key's look didn't leave the ground. He could not believe that Violet was gone. He could not believe that she committed suicide. He could not believe that it was his fault.
It was a video of you running into a bunch of bears suggests otherwise. That is, unless you expected them to cuddle you.
Tegasara spat out the rather inappropriate joke, but it didn't hurt Key's feelings one bit. In fact, it was the first time in his life that he felt a numbing depression. Grief.
It was just a thing of the moment. I didn't know what to do. I felt heavy and weird. I wasn't myself doing that.
This is yeah, I've seen that quite a bit during my career.
Tegasara lied. He had seen it in fiction, but never ever experienced such manic behavior during his career. This was the first time in his career on a day so hot with the sun was dripping down like honey.
Must be quite a thrill.
He just fired out words without a care or thought. He didn't feel like talking. He didn't feel like the world and living at the moment. He wanted to go home but was unsure of what to do. Maybe he would try to cry a little, then a lot. He kind of did love Violet just like he loved any other girl.
I'm used to it. It is always sad to see a beautiful girl die young, but they do commit suicide quite often, I have to tell you, because of how they are, especially emotional at that age. The feelings overwhelm them, and they end up doing a stupid thing like that. It's a shame, really.
The Gesara said,
If only there was an omnipotent God who would protect a girl like that. And a hell for those who do not want to suffer life.
the booze was numbing Key's overwhelmed, confused mind.
It's such a waste when a young girl dies. Everyone is at loss.
The gasser finished the glass.
Am I free to go?
Kay was done.
You're free to go. Just promise me not to do anything stupid.
The Gesara showed him the door. Kay left.